Between the islands of Java and Sumatra in the Indonesian province of Lampung lies the volcano known as Mount Krakatoa at a staggering height of roughly 545 feet. The category of volcano that Mount Krakatoa falls under is the composite volcano, otherwise known as a stratovolcano, which are tall, cone-shaped, and composed of layers of hardened lava, volcanic ash, and tephra, which are rock fragments that were ejected during volcanic explosions. They're also known for their explosive eruptions, those eruptions being what makes a stratovolcano the most dangerous form of volcano. They're often made of intermediate or felsic rock, along with its lava being high in viscosity, which is what makes the eruptions so explosive. However, whenever it does erupt, the lava isn't able to get very far down the volcano before it solidifies onto the sides, forming the steep slopes. Before we get into the eruption of Mount Krakatoa, let's go over the basic anatomy of a volcano. The walls, as you could call them, of a volcano are made out of layers of solid lava and ash. Below the volcano lies the appropriately named magma chamber, as it's a chamber filled with magma, which is connected to a crater at the top of the volcano, which magma leaves through a tunnel known as the main vent. Magma can also leave through a second opening called the secondary cone. Once magma leaves the volcano, it's considered lava. Volcanoes are made when the mantle has less dense magma that rises up, melting through the Earth's crust. The magma then gathers in a reservoir, creating pressure on the crust, until it eventually becomes too powerful, in which the magma forces its way to the surface. The volcano will explosively erupt when the chamber above is too strong or is blocked. The stratovolcano's shape specifically is formed when lava, dust, and ash collect together at the base, although the magma has to be rich in silica, as without it the volcano would have lava that's loose and runny that would end up making a shield volcano. Now that we have that covered, we can get back to the eruption of Mount Krakatoa. It had its infamous eruption back in 1883, beginning with faint rumblings in the weeks and months leading up to its eruption. It finally climaxed through April the 26th and the 27th. Now, Mount Krakatoa was loud. It was even able to be heard on over 1/13 of the Earth's surface. It wasn't very dangerous to the life around it, however, as the island that accompanied Mount Krakatoa wasn't inhabited. But that doesn't mean that its side effects couldn't harm anything that was further away. For starters, the shaking of the volcano caused giant tsunamis to form, reaching heights of roughly 40 meters above sea level. Here's a picture of me for scale. The waves would have devastated anything in their path, even carrying blocks of coral on shore that could weigh as much as 600 tons. 165 coastal villages were destroyed, along with 36,417 people being killed. Now
that's a lot of damage!
Ash and aerosol erupted into the air roughly 50 kilometers into the stratosphere, circling the equator for 13 days, making the sun appear to be blue and green. 3 months later, the products of the eruption had reached higher latitudes, causing vivid red sunset afterglows, even all the way up at New York, Poughkeepsie, and New Haven for roughly 3 years. The volcanic dust veil also created a filter of solar radiation, causing global temperatures to lower as much as 1.2 degrees Celsius in only a year after the eruption. Temperatures didn't go back to normal until 1888. Mount Krakatoa is believed to have erupted due to the sudden infusion of hot basaltic magma into the cooler, lighter magma in the magma chamber, the rapid and unsustainable pressure increase leading to the cataclysmic explosion. Krakatoa lies along the convergence of the Indian, Australian, and Eurasian tectonic plates, which is a zone of high volcanic and seismic activity. Some people might wonder, how the heck do these giant continent-sized slabs of stone move and slide under each other? And that's a pretty good question that doesn't completely really have a concrete answer. However, the most commonly agreed upon theory of the tectonic plate's driving force for movement is that the weak structure of the asthenosphere allows the tectonic plates to easily move towards subduction zones. However, this can't be the only driving force, due to there being plates such as the North American plate whom are moving yet aren't being subducted anywhere. Now, volcanoes are dangerous, and I'm not just talking about their lava flows and explosions from eruptions. They've got many ways of making you not partake in the leisurely activity of being alive, such as, but not limited to, avalanches of debris, tephra fall, pyroclastic density currents, which are basically a fast-moving stream of hot gas, and hecking volcanic lightning. Now, does that sound like a band name or what? Oh, golly gosh, all this volcano biz sounds pretty gosh darn dangerous, and I live like, I don't know, 2 inches from one. Well, I got a couple of things you can do just in case that volcano suddenly erupts. First off, know about any possible evacuation locations. If you live near a volcano, there's probably like volcano drills or something at your school or work. Or maybe not, I don't live near any of those volcanoes. Second off, in order to be suspicious of volcanic activity in the first place, you need to be aware of any signs of that volcanic activity. These could range from small earthquakes beneath the volcano to an increased emission of heat and gas from the volcano's vents. Third, if the air around you has too much dust or hot gas from the volcano, get a cloth, make it wet, and breathe through it. And I'm not going to be numbering them off anymore because that's getting pretty tedious. But don't take refuge at any valleys or basements, because you don't want to be stuck in a lahar. And most, but certainly not least, stay away from the volcano at all costs. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go up there, take a picture, but don't come crying to me when you're combusting into flames by being within 3 meters of the volcano. And that's roughly all the things that I need to cover. And oh, would you look at that? I still have 2 minutes to sleep. Heh, healthy habits, am I right?